So topic is, this topic touches everybody's life on a daily basis, shaping future leaders and the role of education in fostering innovation, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence in the next generation. And what role does the education play in achieving all these things? So before I start, I would like to cite a Harvard Review blog that I read recently. It said, leaders create more leaders and managers create subordinates. And managers create followers and leaders nurture leadership qualities in their promising juniors. So what do you think, I will start from Dr. Ahuja, that what do you think that what all changes our education system needs so as to create more and more leaders and start a chain reaction of creating leaders?
Thank you, Prashant, for bringing me here. Actually, I have been listening to the proceedings here all around. My question first is that what do we understand by education? India has been the leader of education. We have been called Vishwaguru. But why have we ever thought? We had two parts to education. Vidya, we called it one and Apara Vidya and one Para Vidya. Apara means what we have been talking all through in the sessions, and Para is for self-realization. So we have to think in terms of the education in toto first. What do we understand by education? What do we mean by education? And we have been talking about emotional intelligence, as you said. I agreed, Daniel Goleman gave this concept in 1995. But if you look at Indian philosophy, we are all through emotional intelligence. We had EQ 5,000 years ago, we talked about EQ. We talked about SQ. We talked about adversity quotient. We talked about patience quotient. So many things we talked about earlier. But now, why are we confining ourselves to only one part of intelligence, that is emotional intelligence? Yes, I agree it has become important because the Indian education system in last 60, 70 years was only confining itself to one part of intelligence, that is memory testing. Now from memory at least we have gone beyond, and NEP 2020 has clearly defined and given a lot of role to EQ and SQ. So we have to combine all these quotients together to have a holistic education approach in our country. And I personally feel that we should not talk in parts, we should talk in toto. And I'll give you one example. People were talking about skill. I agree skill is important. But if you look at the data, it is 10% skill and 90% of the attitude. And we are looking at developing skill, but we are not looking at developing will, which is equally important. We are looking at developing content. We are not looking at developing intent, which is equally important. We have talked about profitability all through in our education system as what is the placement rate, what package, and we have never talked about credibility there. So I personally feel that the science which is talked about what, where, when, how, who, whom, these were we were taught by our teachers as 7 uncles if you are a science students. But let me add the 8th one, which is the want, which is the curiosity, which was primary to our Indian education system. And I personally feel that creating a curiosity in the child is much more important than anything else. And if you create curiosity in a child, if you create want in a child, I think they will be born leaders.
So I think content versus intent is a great line, great takeaway. Coming to you, Dr. Kulshreshtha, since you are from such a prestigious Bennett University, on a daily life at university, do you face that there are circumstances when we need leaders from universities and colleges as well?
Thank you very much for that question. I represent Bennett University. It's a prestigious university backed by Times Group. And it's a city within city. So I'll invite all of you. You can come and visit our campus. We have 10,000 plus students on the campus, and it's a budding campus with 7 schools, interdisciplinary approach. And as you say, leaders, I will rather add to it, we need a strong mentor-mentee relationship. Because unless we have a strong mentor-mentee relationship in an education institution, we can't have leaders or, for that matter, any change maker. Because we all in our personal lives, we had someone, a mentor, who gave that flip to our vision, to our delights. So I think education, especially higher education at university level, needs that Guru Shishya Parampara to reinvent so that we can handle this future of this great nation, so that they can express themselves, they can dream big, they can innovate, they have freedom to fail. All that will come when we treat them as our own, in a very strong bond which fosters them. And I am reminded of Prime Minister Modi Man Ki Baat long back. And in that he told very fine thing, that a teacher must introspect that how many of his student or her student called him or her in their marriages. That is a bond we need to cultivate.
Yes. So with the Guru Shishya Parampara, I would like to move on to Mr. Kumar. You have an amazing success story, right from village school, typically Guruji school kind of, and then to IIT, then top police rank in Uttarakhand as DGP, and now you are honing sports personalities for their skills as Vice Chancellor of Sports University of Haryana. So your experiences have been from different domains and different personalities. Do you think leadership lessons should be a part of a school's syllabus as well, so as to excel in different fields, whether it's sports or education or whatever it is?
I do agree that we need these leadership skills, rather life skills, as part of our curriculum from higher secondary onwards. I did my BTech and MTech from IIT Delhi, and after passing out, I was at a loss for many things. It taught us many things. It's not that IIT system does not teach you things, because it's excellent at IQ, you know. It teaches us efficiency, excellency, how we achieve efficiency and excellence in life. But it somehow lacks in value education. It somehow lacks in basic life skills. Because I strongly believe that IQ is important, very important, but only for the early stages of life. If we want to rise in the higher echelons of life, we need to have very good EQ, emotional quotient. So, and the other qualities that my co-panelist mentioned, I would say that they become all part of EQ. Because EQ includes our social skills, EQ includes so many things. So leadership qualities have to be taught in the school, or rather at college level. Because what I felt is, being an IPS officer after IIT, that we need to have critical thinking, right decision, right time. What will be the various aspects of making a decision, whether I need to do lathi charge or not, whether I need to, to control the crowd, at what stage I will need firing. If I take this decision, what will be the impacts of this decision? Right. So it's very, a very critically thought out decision. Yeah. So decision making, right decision at right time. Similarly, higher EQ, time management, right? All these things have to be taught. Like, I would say, Three Idiots, we all seen. Yeah. Just see the innovation. It's not rote learning, it is innovative ideas, it is visionary ideas that will make you leaders. So I strongly believe that this education needs to be taught, especially from higher secondary onwards. Leadership skills, life skills.
Should be included.
Yes, must be included.
Yeah. Thank you. So, Insha's Qazi, I was researching on you, then I got to know that you are an aspiring farmer also. You are an interior designer also, civil engineer as well, and a businesswoman. So multiple domains you have served in a nutshell, if you can say. Did you face any situations when you severely felt that we need leaders in different organizations, institutions, or companies, not managers? If leaders were there, that could have been managed in a different manner or in a better manner.
Yes. So, sir, thank you for doing a research on me. And while you were researching, I think you have missed the major domain of my life, which was something so personal, because we're talking about leadership, and it has actually tested my personal leadership skills. So, sir, I founded SSMD School of Fashion and Design in 2017, and in Kashmir. By Kashmir, I mean it's not any other part of the India. It's Kashmir. And the word fashion was one of the biggest taboos in Kashmir. It was a time when hartals, social boycotts, and a lot of tension was in the air. We're talking about 2017. So when I started with the batch of fashion designing, so a lot of girls were very interested to come and study. And it was the first time, the only institute in the valley that has opened. And I used to face a lot of challenges. The first challenge that I used to face was a social challenge. I used to have girls coming to me and boys coming to me and telling me, ma'am, could you please convince our parents that we want to study here? The mindset of the parents that time. And they were like, no. If our children go in fashion designing, they will be walking on the ramp walks wearing skimpy clothes. So there were a lot of social challenges that I faced. But how I emerged through it is because I paved the way. I tried to foster leadership through a vision. I never forced a student that this is what you have to do. I never supervised them. I believed in them, and I entrusted them with whatever I could. And just after a year, our students had multiplied 3 times. Our students were participating in Russia. They were participating in Amazon Fashion Weeks and all big fashion names of the country. And that was one of the major things that I overcame. And then you asked me about the homestay. So when we talk about hospitality, the hospitality is something that has to be something very innovative and adaptive. So usually what happens in hospitality industry, by the way, I run one of the unique and favorite homestays of the country, the title was given by Condé Nast and MMT. So sir, in this usually we have last minute cancellations. And sometimes what happens, the guests start fighting and they're like, at the last minute that we are not going to pay the bill. So this becomes, for the staff and for the people who are working there, this becomes something very uncomfortable because they have delivered a service and they're not getting paid for the service. In that area especially, we try to maintain leadership in a way which gives a very positive outlook to both the parties, and we try to resolve the matters. So I believe good leadership is when we resolve the matters instead of taking them higher.
Okay. So Insha, since you mentioned about the parents, so our subtopics is fostering innovation.
Yes, sir.
So I was reading this that during early ages, we promote our kids to color within the boxes, within the lines. We value that. But when they move into professional lives, their managers, their reporting heads, they say, come up with new ideas, think outside the box.
Yes.
So that becomes contrary.
Yes.
So what do you think parents needs to change in terms of fostering innovation, and how education can play a role in this?
Sir, I think first of all, when it comes to critical thinking, it's very important to foster critical thinking in the parents first, and then it could be passed on to the students, to their children.
Fostering innovation precisely.
Yeah, in fostering innovation, and I believe that we have to be updated. We have to be updated with the market, with the current trends. Like there's a subject that we teach, that is future forecasting. So it's usually related to the fashion students and how we tell them, after 10 years from now, the whole industry is going to shape. and how innovation is going to be a part of your future. So even in hospitality, so we're not doing the things that have been happening since years. So to foster innovation, we make sure that we have to make sure that parents are in sync with what is happening today, and they have to know that what is going to happen 5 years or 10 years from now.
Okay. Kumar sir, so since you are at the Sports University of Haryana and sports is a big focus, so do you think fostering innovation helps sports personalities also? I mean, playing new shots with new techniques, how does it help?
See, innovation has its own value. We all know about Prakash Padukone, right? He was our first world champion in badminton. He was world number 1 also. He won all England. And you know, all due to what? Just one stroke. One new stroke he invented, that was half smash.
Yes, great example, yeah.
Something between drop and the smash. So that's how innovation matters. So if we can, bring out new ideas, they work everywhere. Not just sports, not just education, everywhere the new ideas work, and that is the role of a leader. You know, making them think, making them question everything, what, why, when, where, what for. The moment we start doing, we will start having new ideas. Because then we are not going for the beaten path. We are inventing our own path. So that's what innovation is, and it is useful everywhere, not just sports, everywhere.
Professor Kulshreshtha, yeah. So do you face these challenges at Bennett University that in early ages we promote contrary and at university level and professional life we promote something else?
Yeah. See, India is the fastest growing economy, and as Prime Minister's vision is that soon we are aspiring to be $5 trillion economy. And at Bennett University, we focus a lot on entrepreneurship and innovation. We have a center dedicated for this. We have a hatchery. And one of our residents, he has a startup which is soon going to be a unicorn. And we have 200 crore plus startups in our university. And our university is a very young university. It came into inception in 2016 and we lost 3 years to COVID. So seeing the young age, we focus a lot on innovation and entrepreneurship. We have courses on design thinking. We have courses on entrepreneurship. We have courses even AI, because AI is going to be a disruptor in a big way. So we have a mandatory course on AI. So as they say that innovation is in the air, because without that you can't survive, you can't grow. And national education policy changes the game. It says instead of being or producing a student who is job seeker, we should be producing a student who is job giver. Unless we do that, we can't take care of such a large population. And we say we are a young nation. We have, dividend of young population. So unless we change the game, and universities have to do this, university have to be in forefront.
Someone said from the panelists that we need game changers.
Yeah. So these, I'm sure the economy.
Change makers.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, not leaders.
The growth which we are seeing, and we are seeing our student at the forefront. You name a company, be it Google or be it Microsoft, let any company, global, our Indian students are leading them. And this is the education system. This is the education innovation, emphasis. And many universities, including Bennett, are paying a lot of attention to give an ecosystem where a student can innovate, where they can hash their ideas, and we fund them liberally. Thank you.
Dr. Ahuja, final comment from you. Since you are the only one in the panelist who is taking care of school education board also and at the university level also. So what are the contrary scenarios you witness?
No, one, I agree with them that good parenting is very important, because research says that by the time the child is about 12 years of age, he has listened to more than 1 lakh no's, 1 lakh negative statements. And it takes 4 positive statements to correct 1 negative statement. So you can imagine how much correction is needed in parenting. That is one. 2, I agree with Dr. Kulshreshtha when he says that a mentor is very important. And if I give you an example, Duryodhana from Mahabharata itself, Duryodhana and Arjun were to choose between a mentor, between Lord Krishna, and of course, the means, the military. Arjun chose, of course, the mentor,
Yes.
and Duryodhana chose the means and the military. And the second important thing which I want to say is, if you want me to say a quote, what Arjuna and Krishna transpired in between.
Please.
It's a very interesting quote which I often quote amongst the students also. When Arjuna chose Lord Krishna said, हार निश्चित है तेरी, हार निश्चित है तेरी, हर दम रहेगा उदास, माखन दुर्योधन ले गया, छाछ बची मेरे पास. Now you know what Arjuna said in reply? Arjuna said, जीत निश्चित है मेरी, दास नहीं हो सकता उदास, माखन लेकर क्या करूं जब माखन चोर है मेरे पास. When we have a mentor in our life, the game changer
Yes.
is the mentor. The second important thing which I want to highlight before the audience is that Arjuna was probably the greatest of the warriors of his times, who had not lost even a single battle, and probably he was the best student Dronacharya had. Now, have we ever thought why he failed in the biggest of his battles? He failed in the biggest of his battles because he was trained in military art by Dronacharya. But when it came to the biggest of his battles, he was nervous.
Yes.
He was anxious. He was depressed. He was about to commit suicide. Somebody mentioned about the rates of suicide. He was like, he says, Brahmati mein mana mera mana brahmita. Now I can't do anything and I will not fight. But then Lord Krishna comes into the picture. He gives him the training of mental art. So that is the difference between the choosing the martial art, which we call as our curriculum in normal language, and mental art, which we are talking about emotional intelligence here.
Yeah, critical thinking and
so
innovation.
that is the difference. We need to learn mental art along with the military art, meaning thereby that IQ has to be combined with EQ and SQ to give student a holistic education, and of course we can bring in leaders who are innovative, who, as you rightly pointed out, that they will be the change makers.
Yep.
And if we want change makers, we need to have, as Dr. Ashok said, critical thinking and innovation. I fully agree that decision making at crucial moments is very important, and that, of course, if we have people who are tough in the nerves, as Swami Vivekananda said, that the purpose of education is to bring out the latent potential, the latent powers within you. Everybody has latent powers. The purpose of education is to bring out those latent powers. And as Maharshi Arvind said, there is divinity in every child, and the purpose of education is to take out that divinity. As in the earlier panels, people discussed that divinity has to be, they said that we have to take care of the child, what are his interests, that is the divinity. And the teachers must look at the divinity and try to bring out that divinity in that child. That is the purpose of education. And I think that those two philosophers, they serve and they will continue to be the beacon of light for us in education. And if we work on those principles, I think Indian education system has a great future. And as Mr. Awasthi was putting it across, one thing I would like to mention here is that if we want a good education system, and Ashok sir will agree with me, of course he is a bureaucrat and he will not mind my saying that if we have to have a good education system in India, and especially the higher education system, it has to be freed from the clutches of bureaucracy. And I think you will excuse me if I say so, because all the universities are suffering because of the red tapeism. The Vice Chancellor, he is a founder Vice Chancellor, I was also a founder Vice Chancellor. The difficulties we face is that somebody else is to decide how many teachers we are going to have. Somebody else is to decide what kind of buildings are we going to have. So that freedom should be given to the universities. The autonomy of the universities must be maintained to solve all the problems which people were discussing here, like students going abroad, like students not staying in India. If we want to have a good ecosystem in higher education, we must give autonomy to the universities. That
Yes,
is my last remark.
Yes, yes, absolutely. With small changes, there will be a big shift. And I think by means of education, positive changes, we can achieve a lot in terms of fostering innovation, critical thinking. Thank you to all the esteemed panelists.
Can I add one
Yeah,
thing?
please, sir, please.
Taking cue from Sir, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, the great leader, the great mentor, he tells to Arjuna, Yogaha karmashu kaushalam. That is, doing anything you undertake in excellent way is the highest form of yoga. And see our Indian Constitution, in fundamental duties under Article 51A, there are 11 fundamental duties. One of the duties says, it binds all of us, that all citizens of India shall excel in individual and collective endeavor so that the nation constantly rises in the comity of nations. Thank you very much.
Yes, yes, yes. By this valuable insights, I must say that Gita is really, really a way of life. This is how you should lead your life. Thank you everyone. Thank